Hi there, welcome to this video series which is all about playing turntables as a member of a band. I'm Will Baldry, also known as Dr. Weevil. I'm a turntablist and producer, and this series is all about integrating what we do as DJs and turntablists with other musicians in a live performance setting. So in this introduction, I want to give a broad overview of what we're going to be covering, and also to give you a little bit of background about me and, why it is that I'm qualified to talk about this topic. So I've been a DJ and turntablist since the late 90s. As a solo DJ, I'm a member of the Desert Storm Sound System Collective, and I've also appeared in various scratch battles like the DMC and the IDA. And I completed a PhD in turntable performance in 2016, which was almost entirely focused on solo work. However, throughout my career in turntablism, I've also continually worked with other collaborators and live acts and developed this other side to my performing as an ensemble player rather than a solo player. So early on, I played live turntable parts for Celt Islam and a band called Esteban. And then for a long time, I was one half of the hard techno duo Civil Unrest. We toured Europe extensively with the Civil Unrest show. And our whole thing was bringing aspects of hip-hop beat production into the techno arena. So digging for breaks and sampling records and that kind of thing. That was where we got our source material, in contrast to a scene that's usually highly dependent on synthesizers. So when we played the Civil Unrest live show, I played turntables, and that was where I really started to think about taking the techniques of hip-hop turntablism and using them as part of a group performance. I also played the turntables for Rough Fields when he toured the album Edge of the Firelight, and that was a radically different approach to integrating what I do into a band setting. I was basically the drummer for Rough Fields, but using the turntables instead of a drum kit. Nowadays, I play in the band Klonk, and we take Eastern European folk melodies, we mash them up with all kinds of funk, hip-hop, electronica, even heavy metal. I'm also an occasional turntablist with Mr. Wilson's Second Liners, and they're a New Orleans-style brass band who play 90s dance music. And in particular, I was involved in a year-long project with Mr. Wilson's where we created a live version of the classic album Leftism using our instrumental lineup. So most of what we'll be covering in these series comes from the last 6 or so years of my work with Klonk and with Mr. Wilson's. So what I'll be doing throughout these videos is breaking down some of the specific parts I've devised for those live shows and showing you how they work in performance. I'm not trying to present a complete methodology for everything that a turntablist can do with a band or anything like that. But I'm hoping that there are some ideas in these specific parts that I've written and the techniques that I've stumbled across that other DJs can use, that people can put their own spin on and take in other directions. I'll also be explaining some of the inevitable obstacles that come up when we try to integrate what we do with other musicians. And you'll see a variety of ways that I've solved these problems in the projects that I've been involved with. I really believe that as a turntablist, this is a really exciting area to get into. Usually when you perform as a DJ, you're responsible for the whole of the sound world. You're responsible for everything that the audience hears. But I think to take all of our instrumental technique and the ways that we manipulate sound and to apply that not to the whole sound world, but to one specific sound within a larger sound world, I think that's a really exciting area to get into. So on the next video, I'm going to talk broadly about the areas of technique and ways in which they can be more or less applicable to band settings. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.